Friends, we'll start the proceedings of this meeting. We are waiting for the President of the Students' Union, Kanhaiya, and the President of the Teachers' Association to arrive in a short while. Kanhaiya has gone for a medical checkup. The President is still trying to persuade our Vice Chancellor. They will be here in a moment. But we will, since it's going to, there are a lot of speakers, we are going to start off with the meeting. They will join us shortly. Before we start, let me just introduce the subject, why we have all got together here, why we have invited some of our most experienced, some of our most respected teachers to come here, Professor Prabhat Patnaik. We are very proud and happy that he has agreed to come and speak to us, a legendary teacher of JNU. All of you, those of you who haven't been his students, but still know of him and of the great contribution that he has made to the discipline of economics, to the way people in India think on these issues, and the way the JNU has evolved today is to a great degree because of people like Prabhat Patnaik. We are also very glad that we have Professor Chaman Lal with us. Professor Chaman Lal has spent a lifetime, though this is not his discipline, but he has spent his lifetime trying to understand, propagate the ideas of Bhagat Singh. He has published several works on Bhagat Singh and has talked all over the world on Bhagat Singh, and we would like to hear him as well on this manufactured controversy that this government has created. We are also very glad that Professor Shanta Sinha, those of you who are very young may not know that she is the first PhD of JNU, of the School of Social Sciences. And let me tell you, this is what the administration needs to learn. She started her career as a Naxal, and they did not put her in jail. And the result is she has emerged as a Magsaysay Award winner and one of the country's best social activists, who has freed 600,000 children from work and brought them into schools. So here, all that our students have done in this campus, for which they are being punished, is that they have raised similar voices for the dispossessed, for the poor, for the disadvantaged, and they're being punished. The way out is not to punish, but to engage them so that they emerge as citizens like Professor Shanta Sinha. She will also speak. One of the reasons we asked her to call is not only because of what I just described about her, but that she was married to the son of a great revolutionary, B.K. Sinha, who was sent to the Andamans, and she is one of those who understands the revolutionary tradition and would talk to us about how they are trying to destroy this tradition. Friends, today the attack is not only on Bipan Chandra. The attack is on JNU. And it is on what JNU represents. It's on the ideas of secularism, the ideas of nationalism, which is pro-poor, which is different from the ideas of the RSS and the state and the current government. And that is why they have attacked JNU. They did attack the students, and when the teachers have come together to defend the students, they attack the teachers. Today slogans were raised here condemning JNUTA, condemning the teachers of JNU. Unheard of. It has never happened before that JNU teachers have been condemned for coming in support of the students. So they have now directed their attack on people who support the students' movement here in JNU, and it has spread all over the country. As you know, JNU teachers are targeted. They are not allowed to speak in many institutions. There are institutions in this country, believe you me, who have cancelled invitations to JNU teachers once they realized that there was a JNU teacher, because pressure has been put on them. This government is putting pressure to silence alternate voices. But they have made a mistake this time on the weapon they have chosen to silence voices. They chose Bhagat Singh and they chose Bipan Chandra. They, in parliament, you know, one of the BJP members got up in parliament and said that Bipan Chandra and his co-authors of this book, India's Struggle for Independence, has called Bhagat Singh a terrorist, and then he went on a range of attacks, saying that these are people who are ridiculing our patriots, our martyrs, this, that and the other. So basically trying to say that they were the nationalists and Bipan Chandra and JNU and teachers of JNU are not the nationalists. Now here there is a big error that has happened. They have tried to appropriate Bhagat Singh for themselves, which, as you will hear, is an absurd and a very stupid effort, because Bhagat Singh stood for exactly the opposite views than the current regime. The party that he set up, Naujawan Bharat Sabha, he said that you can become members of it only if you commit to secularism. He was deeply secular, that if you take away two basic ideas from Bhagat Singh today, it would be that he was deeply secular and he was a socialist. So he's not the right person. As they made a mistake by touching JNU, they are making a mistake by touching Bhagat Singh, and they made a mistake by attacking Bipan Chandra, because Bipan Chandra was responsible for bringing out these aspects of Bhagat Singh for decades. He was among the first to, as Professor Chaman Lal and others have written, that he was among the first to bring out the fact that Bhagat Singh was moving towards Marxism, that he was emerging, as he said in the last lecture Bipan Chandra gave. In fact, incidentally, his last talk before he passed away, big lecture, was a lecture organized by the Bhagat Singh chair, which is given to our center in JNU. And in that talk, he said that had Bhagat Singh lived, he would have been the Lenin of India. So it is this heritage that we bring out, that our book brings out, that we have tried to talk about. And it is this heritage they want to wipe out with an empty, vacuous nationalism, in the name of which they want to take away all content from nationalism. They want to take all the secular, the pro-poor content out of our nationalism. And that is what we shall not allow. I will now request Professor Chaman Lal to give his comments, opinion on the current controversy. Okay. As you know, the government or the ABVP got hold of one member of Bhagat Singh's family and went to the Vice Chancellor in Delhi University and said that this book, Struggle for India's Independence, whose translation was published in Hindi by Delhi University, should be banned. Apart from that, I forgot to mention to you that the effort to terrorize, to scare, is not something that is new. These people had attacked the same secular, scientific, progressive scholars in 1977, again in 1999 to 2004. In fact, at that time, the Education Minister Murli Manohar Joshi had called Ramila Thapar and Bipan Chandra intellectual terrorists. They used the word terrorist. And they said that these scholars were intellectual terrorists, more dangerous than the cross-border terrorists in Pakistan. So this is the position that this government has had for a long time. They have tried to get rid of the objective, scientific, social science that this country has produced and replace it with the RSS version of it. So this is a continued attack. But the one member of the family that they got hold of to make this complaint and even file cases. They have actually filed cases in Kanpur. They have found some place where probably the judge will be pro-RSS against all the authors, including us, saying that there are 4 criminal charges that have been placed against us. This is an effort to scare and silence the intelligentsia. But I can assure you that JNU, we have been products of JNU, students of people like Professor Prabhat Patnaik. JNU teachers are not going to run away. This fight is going to go on, and the scare, the threats of court cases and abuse, whether in Parliament or through the Nation Wants to Know channel, we are not going to succumb to those pressures. I would like to read out to you a statement that has been circulated. This is a statement made by Jagmohan Singh. Jagmohan Singh is the nephew of Bhagat Singh. Can you give me the statement? Yeah, I found it. Thank you. This is a professor. He is a professor, Professor Jagmohan Singh. Who devoted his life again to preserve and propagate the ideas of and the legacy of Bhagat Singh. I'll just read out his statement. We have taken some parts of it because it was a very long statement. He's not in the country, otherwise he had expressed his full support to us and our struggle against this kind of attack on free speech. He says, "It is a time of great challenge to free spirit of inquiry, learning and questioning. It is such times," he says, as Bhagat Singh said, "that give rise to progress if the challenge is faced boldly." In other words, he's saying that this is an opportunity. Don't go under. This is an opportunity. This kind of attack is an opportunity. The winds of negative nationalism or pseudo-nationalism are being blown with the full support of the current regime. It is pseudo because it ignores the real problems of the santans, that is the children of Bharat Mata, in the name of Hindutva. The current regime has utterly failed to address the suffering of 1/3 of the population affected by drought and famine-like conditions who are struggling for survival. The Parliament has no time to discuss these real issues, but has enough time to pursue the pseudo-nationalist agenda as a diversionary tactic. In other words, the raising of these kind of issues by people who had nothing to do with nationalism themselves, who ran away from the freedom struggle, they are now raising these issues of patriotism to divert from the main issues faced by the country. As to the current attack on the book India's Struggle for Independence by Bipan Chandra, it is political in nature and has to be understood as such. It is part of the political agenda of the present regime. We know very well their sincerity towards the thought and action of Bhagat Singh and his co-patriots. I strongly condemn this attack on this well-known work on the history of our independence movement because it is coming from those who themselves do not know what Bhagat Singh and his co-patriots stood for. They always shy away from the commitments with which Bhagat Singh went to the Central Assembly with D.K. Dutt. His slogans, such as "Down with imperialism, long live revolution." He wanted to protect the freedom of the individual from the state. Very important point that Jagmohan Singh ji has made. That Bhagat Singh wanted to protect the freedom of the individual from the state. And fascism does exactly the opposite. It equates the state with the nation and the people. Democracy is all about the people questioning the state. And here you are punished if you question the state. The current regime is acting against all these principles and then trying to show its love for him. The attack on historians like Bipan Chandra is highly condemnable. It was he who initiated Shahid Bhagat Singh Research Committee in 1978. That's why I said that it is a strange attack. The person who brings Bhagat Singh to life is being attacked. When Bhagat Singh's two most thought-provoking articles, "Why I Am an Atheist" and Dreamland, with a long introduction by Professor Bipan Chandra, were published, new light was thrown on the personality and thought of the martyrs. Many of you probably do not know that Bipan published this "Why I Am an Atheist" on his own. He discovered the tract and he published it out of his own pocket, and students of his, some of whom are present here, actually distributed them in campuses and on the roadside. It is because of Bipan Chandra that I could collect all possible documents on the history of Indian independence movement from the family, co-patriots and other living freedom fighters, and thus have the benefit of appreciating this great heritage. I stand in solidarity with the cause and in defense of history and the great contribution of Professor Bipan Chandra. As for the controversy around the word terrorism, at a time when a more thorough understanding is needed, the discussion is deliberately focused on single words that are quoted out of context. And this is what suits these pseudo-nationalists. Chandra in his book never uses the word terrorist without qualifying it. In fact, he was responsible for bringing in the word revolutionary with the terrorism. I mean, he is in fact was responsible for also demonstrating over time that how Bhagat Singh moved towards Marxism. And in all his later writings, he refers to Bhagat Singh as a revolutionary socialist. As one of the family members of Bhagat Singh, this is his last line, I appeal to the youth to understand Bhagat Singh and be closely related to his ideas. I now invite Professor Chaman Lal to give his talk.